Are you an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VISBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VISBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VISBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Greetings on behalf of the VISBDC Network. We welcome you to the USVI Business Banking Concepts, Strategies, and Best Practices webinar. This session will guide business owners on how to build credit, what lenders are looking for when providing funding, and if your business is ready to receive electronic forms of payment. Allow me to introduce today's lead presenter, Ms. Kimberly Ortiz-Lopez. Kimberly Ortiz-Lopez, Senior Program Officer, brings 15 years of experience in the banking industry. Since joining Popular in 2014, Kimberly served as Marketing Officer until 2020 when she moved to commercial banking to manage Startup Popular, a specialized financing program for startup businesses. Recently, Kimberly began leading Emprende con Popular, overseeing all entrepreneurship-related initiatives, including partnerships with support organizations. Here's a friendly reminder to place your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed by the presenting team, either directly in the chat or later during our question and answer segment. A copy of today's presentation will be attached to the post-survey email sent after this live session. We encourage you to take a few minutes of your time to briefly fill out the survey that lets us know how we're doing. This data is essential to us rendering these deliverables complimentary to you. So without further ado, Ms. Lopez, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I just want to make sure everybody is listening. Can they hear me very good and you're seeing my screen? Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So let's just move on here. Okay, so as my introduction, thank you. We are going to talk about a little bit how our commercial credit and importance aspects are taken into consideration for when you're ready to ask for a commercial credit, right? To make sure that you're in the right position so your business can continue growing. So we're going to briefly address business accounts, management services, cash management services that we have, aspects of commercial credits, documents, etc., and then break down a little bit what are these products that can help you move to your next step. Okay. Any questions that you may have, you can let me know during the presentation, and I will gladly answer. So, business accounts. This might seem pretty basic, but yes, having a business account is basic. When you're venturing on into doing your own business, the first step is to separate your personal information and with your business information. Why is this important? Because when you come to the bank, to any bank, it could be Popular or any other bank that you may have, we're the first things that we're going to ask, okay, so give me your financial data. How is your business doing? Are you profiting? Are you losing? So if you have the revenues of your business with your personal money information, you're not going to be able to correctly tell us how your business is doing. So the most important thing, the first step that you guys should do is open a business account. In VI, we do have Ideal Business and Be Smart that is only for DBAs. If you have an LLC or you're incorporated, then you must open the ILD business. Again, they have different characteristics, but they're important so you can start organizing your financials and start presenting how your business is performing. Important to notice that these accounts can be opened even if your business has not started gaining revenues. If it's not selling yet, it's okay. We can open it as long as you do have your official documentation that you're certified as a business owner, etc. Okay. So cash management services. What happens once we start getting that flow, that cash flow? We do need how to correctly organize our cash flow and pay our suppliers and pay our employees if we have employees at that moment. So we do have what is collections, that is our check, cash, ACH, different credit cards for that. And then do I admit that? There we go. So we do have another feature that is for payments, to manage that payroll for employees, for suppliers. So it's different type of systems that can help you and services that can help you organize those payments better. And account information and account services, because you need to know how is that entering. Maybe you need to know how is that information looking into your account once you see your gains and your losses. How is that managing? Do you have a net loss? Do you have a net profit? Are you breaking even? What can you do so you can adjust and maybe get a better performance out of your numbers? So that's why the account services is important. And we do have other services such as fraud detection, electronic payments, private banking, that is also helping you along the way once you're a little bit more established. Okay. So getting down to the financing part of this presentation. Financing is super important, and I always say in these presentations that is essential for your business to continue growing. I think the most important thing is to not be fearful of getting a banking financial or a different type of loan, but it's important because you need to finance your growth, your business growth. So as long as you do it correctly, financing is a great tool. I mean, I think the most important thing is not biting off more than you can work, right? So how do you do that? We be prepared. Again, the most important thing is establish a relationship with your banker. That begins when you start with your business account. Why is this important? When you go to the bank and you start talking about how your business is doing, the banker is the one who may tell you, oh, it's Kimberly, it's about time. Maybe your business can grow a little bit more if you have a different location or if you extend your hours. It can, he can advise you a little bit on how your business can continue growing and offer you the proper solutions. Maybe you need a credit card. Maybe you need a line of credit. So we don't expect your business owner to go to the bank and say, hey, I need a business loan. I need to buy an industrial machine or something like that. And the banker will tell you, okay, so how much does it cost? Are you prepared to pay? And he or she will tell you what's the best product for you. So establishing that relationship with the banker is super important. So then we always advise you have a business plan. Of course, this is important for when you come to the bank to ask for a loan, but it's your document because this is your baby, your business. And the business plan, it's a guide. It lets you know, am I doing what I said I was going to do? Am I prepared for contingency plans? Do I have knowledge of all of my competitors? Do I have a marketing plan? So the business plan is a guide for all of those steps that you need to create that idea and execute it. I do not want to say that you should chat GPT it, but these tools exist and they can be of great help. So if you have your business plan and you want to review a little bit, ChatGPT can help you to revise what you have and maybe see some points that you may have overlooked. So this is a very important. I'm not saying to use ChatGPT for everything. I'm just saying that it's a tool, or any AI system. It doesn't have to be ChatGPT. They have Gemini, Copilot, etc. But these tools exist and they are helpful for you. And for these types of documents, they can help. Okay. So that's about the business plan. And then we go on to the financials. Profit and loss statements are super important because that's what lets you know if you're profiting or if you're losing. Yeah, it's a statement. I'm going to show you an example a little bit more in along the presentation. It's just a statement that shows you how much you've been revenuing, how much you've been the costs related to that, and what is your net profit or your net loss. According to that, that's what you have to adjust. Do I maybe need to increase the prices of the product that I'm selling? Do I maybe need to adjust what the materials that I'm buying that are too expensive? Maybe I don't need an employee yet. Maybe I can, those are what you study and what you analyze, so you can take different steps. And projections are super important because it makes us know what are your plans short term and long term. And very important, I'm going to get into that a little bit more along the way, but very important that when we do have projections, we do have to do them realistically. We do have to say, okay, my projections for my next year based on what already has happened is this. So okay, that's super important. And your credit score. When you ask for commercial credit, yes, the commercial credit is under name of my company, ABC Company. That's who's going to have the loan. But Kimberly is the owner. So as a bank, we have to check if Kimberly has managed correctly her credit score as an individual. Because chances are, if you have managed correctly and healthy your credit score, the same way it's going to happen with a credit for the commercial credit. So, and for the other side, if Kimberly has not been well behaved and she has had problems with her credit score as an individual, chances are that maybe she cannot be established, can't establish commercial credit yet because she needs a little bit more structure on how to manage her finances, right? So talking about credit, any financial institution, this is Popular or any financial institution, takes into considerations these 5 characteristics, 5 C's of credit. Character, that's just what I just mentioned. How have you been behaving? How have you been managing your credit score since you started building your credit? With a credit card, with a car, with a house? How has your character been during those commitments that you've had? Conditions. This is something that nobody controls. Conditions are, they refer to like weather conditions. Virgin Islands, just as Puerto Rico, we live in the Caribbean, and 6 months during the year, we are on our toes because hurricane season. So that's some types of conditions that you have to take into consideration. Sorry. For example, when you're doing your business plan, you should have a contingency plan. Do you have a generator? Do I have supplies, a great vast of supplies? If something were to happen, how can my business continue operating if something happens and I don't have electricity, I don't have water? What can I do? And I do understand that these are some parts that include some kind of investment, but many part of your commercial credit ask is to get a generator. Maybe it's to get some some type of inventory max that you can have so you can use. So things to think about. Repayment capacity. This is important because it's, if I'm going to ask for money, do I really have the capacity to pay it back? So this is where we see and we analyze financial information to see how are you doing, how is the business doing, and to see if it does have an effect, enough cash flow to repay if you take out a loan. Okay, and in that sense, we go to collateral. If we see that, yeah, you have a healthy cash flow and you are a great candidate to get a loan, a commercial loan, if something happens, do you have a collateral that us as a bank can use in case you can't repay me? There's a little house there. Collateral means a house, an equipment. It can mean a piece of land. It's something of value that represents the value of what you owe the bank in case that you don't have enough money to repay, right? And capital is the cash flow that I've been mentioning along the way, okay? So important, you have to determine your financing need. What do I need? Am I a baker and maybe I need an industrial oven? Because right now I'm doing it from my house and I only can bake a few cakes at a time. Maybe I need an industrial oven so I can bake 10 cakes at a time instead of 2. So that's I'm sorry about this. That's the use of fund that we need to identify. Okay, so I need that industrial oven. How much is that industrial oven gonna cost? I don't know, $30,000. Okay, well, you can look, and this is very easy. You can just go online and start looking for quotes, industrial ovens, and compare and get these estimates, these quotes. So then okay, I need an industrial oven. It's gonna cost me 30,000. Can I repay it? Maybe I don't have the 30,000 right now, so I can buy it cash. But maybe each month I have a little cash that I can set aside to repay that. So these are the three main important things that you have to take into consideration before going to the bank, okay? So when you go to the bank and you say, banker, I need an industrial oven. I'm gonna stick with this example. I need an industrial oven. The banker is gonna know that there are different types of commercial credit. There's the normal term loan that is principal plus interest, and it's usually used for that type of purchase: property, equipment, improvements, etc. A credit line is for more when you have account receivables, when you have inventory. I always like to put the example for a restaurant. Credit lines are very important for restaurants because they constantly buy inventory and they constantly buy for suppliers, and sometimes suppliers take some time to pay them. So credit lines that are revolving, it's just like a credit card to put a little bit easier to understand. But it lives in your account. It's not plastic. It lives in your account and it activates when you need. Okay. And a credit card is just like a personal credit card. It's for maybe some purchase that you didn't know that you needed at the moment, for emergencies, etc. And we have also Store Popular, that is a new program that we've had for quite some time, and for businesses of 3 years or less, that I'm going to explain a little bit further along. The idea is not that you guys learn all of these terms and don't need to learn that a term loan is for a property purchase, a credit line is for inventory. I just want you guys to know that they exist. There are different types of commercial credit, and there's where your relationship with the banker comes in handy. Oh, banker, I need an industrial oven. Do you have the banker will ask you, do you have the quotes? Do you have the repayment capacity? Okay, we're gonna apply for a term loan. Okay, so that's why the banker is so important, because he's gonna tell you this is the best product to cover your business need right now. Okay. So basic terms, again, this is something for your knowledge only. You usually cover 65, 75 of the project cost. What does that mean? Of the $30,000 of the industrial oven, you as an entrepreneur, business owner, have to put usually 25% or 35%. This depends on the use of funds. Because usually if it's a $30,000 industrial oven, will ask maybe 25%, maybe a little bit less. But if it's a warehouse that you have to fill with inventory and different equipment, maybe we'll ask for only cover 65%. We'll ask for 35 of your money, so you can finance the rest. Why is this important? Because we need to know that you're serious about this. And if we tell you, I need you to give 25% of the total project cost, it makes you more accountable. Because, wow, I'm putting 25% of the total project cost, and if I don't do well, I'm going to lose that 25% that I put. So this is something more in terms of accountability for you and for us. So, and the payment capacity, 125 means that for each dollar that you get, you sell, you can get 125. You can pay 125 or 150. This is a basic calculation that we as bankers figure out. You don't have to learn it, but it's just something that this stuff that we take into account. And personal guarantees of the owners, that means the collateral that I was explaining a little bit before. Okay. So what do we ask? Required documents. Again, these documents also maybe more, maybe less, depending on the total cost of the project. But basics. We need income tax returns. That is something that you guys should have anyways, because it's something you should be filing out anyways. Statements for the last 2 years, financial data as profit and loss statement, balance sheet, the use of funds that I was mentioning at the beginning. Oh, I need the industrial oven and I need it because of this, and it costs this, and then this is the quote for this for the oven. If you have account receivables and or payables and projections, I mentioned that a little bit later beforehand. I'm sorry. Projections are important to see how this purchase is going to affect you. I'm going to buy this industrial oven, and it'll make me more productive because I'm going to be able to bake 10 cakes versus 2 that I was doing right now, which means I'm going to be able to increase my sales by 20%. Ergo, I'm going to make more revenues, and I'm going to continue managing increasing my revenues each time. Important. When you take into consideration how you're going to add how you're going to increase your revenue, it's also important that how your expenses are going to increase. Because if you have a new industrial oven, you also have probably utilities I'm sorry about this. Utilities are going to probably also increase because you're going to need more electricity to move that industrial oven. So these are things that you have to always take in consideration. And any other patents and proprietary information that you might have is also important that you have in that moment. So these are our commercial credits. Credit cards. I'm not going to go through each one, but just as there are different types of products of commercial credit, there are different types of commercial credit cards. Depending on the benefits you might need, is a credit card that you might want to ponder on. For example, the first one is of JetBlue, and it has various benefits carrying on to JetBlue. So it's something that you understand that it's beneficial to you. Well, that is the best one. And the other ones are from Premia, that you also get Premia points and have other types of ways to gather more information. So it all depends. And the Visa Corporate is very attractive as well, because it's something, if you already have a bunch of employees and you want to, you have like the main credit card, and you can also give credit cards to your other employees with their own individual credit line. So if you have a big credit line of 50,000, to put an example, you can give an employee a credit card for 2,000 for, I don't know, emergency purchases, etc. Okay. We do also, Popular is also an SBA Gold lender, and there are different programs that your banker can explain a little bit more in detail. But the most that we use are the 7A program and the SBA Express. These are programs that I think it's a 7A that fund up to 90% of the project that you're going to be applying for. So this is very cool because it almost covers the 100%, and that's something that it's more beneficial for new business owners. SBA is a federal government program, Small Business Administration. So we do have a little bit of more documentation. For example, I'm sure you guys know about the government shutdown that thankfully was ended, but that affected this program. For example, we had a lot of applications that were heading along the way, but we had to pause them a little bit because the government was shut down. So these are very good programs, but they have a little, just as nothing is perfect. So they do have a little bit more documentation to hand in, and they are dependent to external factors, right? And I do want to talk about, I'm going to pause a little bit about Startup Popular. Startup Popular is a program designed for startups with 3 years or less of operations. Operation means that you have started to generate revenues. If you're still in the idea phase, that you're still validating if this is a good idea, you're still, I don't know, maybe perfecting your business model, perfecting the product that you're going to sell or service, well, you still can't participate of Startup Popular. But as soon as you generate your first dollar in sales and you have that first month, you can apply for startup, because it's something that's very beneficial for new business owners. Why? Because financing is a 4-year term. It's up to 50,000. You begin at 10,000, and during the first year, you get an easier payment, to start to say, than you would get if you do the regular commercial credit application. The first year, you're gonna have 2 payments. The first 6 months, you're only gonna pay interest. The other 7 months, from 7 to 12, you're gonna start paying principal, and then years 2 to 4, then you're going to have another bigger payment because you're going to start at 6% principal plus interest. I know that sounds complicated. I don't intend for you to learn it right now. I just wanted to explain that it's a tier pricing, so it can be more comfortable payments during the first year, and then a lower payment, or a bigger payment during the other 3 years. And this is because we understand that the first year at any new business is probably the hardest, because it's where you're still struggling maybe to find your way, to find your clients, etc. So as well as that, we have the lower payments during the first year. We do also offer 12 months free of charge in your business account and access to Mi Banco Business, that is online banking. If you already have your business account open, as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, it's okay. We can apply it to an already open business account. It will be applied as soon as the funding of the loan is dispersed in your account. And if you already have access to Mi Banco Business, it will begin as soon as the term loan or line of credit is dispersed. We do also have offer business coaching with Precisely SBDC over there in VI, and there are 2 hours per month during the term of the loan. That's 4 years. Okay. So what can we ask for in the program Startup Popular? The main program, the main uses that we have is inventory, site expansions, equipment purchase, marketing. App development means like mobile apps. Like if you want to move your business to have a mobile app or website, it's part of the use of fund as well. Why is this important? Because we highly recommend that when you apply for Startup Popular, you do not ask like, oh, I want $50,000 in working capital. Doesn't work that way. If that's something that you want, you have to do it like through the regular process. But we do not want to give you to finance $50,000 without a purpose that's tangible purpose, that has a specific use. Inventory. I need the oven. I need to fix the new business local where I'm gonna be operating. I need to buy a new equipment. I need to buy uniforms to have. I bought a car. I need a car to deliver the cakes. So I need a car. All of those are good uses of funds. It's important that it's not that we don't have a part that can be used for working capital, but it can't be the main use. Again, if you apply for $50,000 and $30,000 is the oven, and maybe you need another 10 for marketing, and maybe you need another 5 to, I don't know, for ingredients. I'm inventing something here, and maybe you can say, that the other 5 of the 50,000, I would like it for working capital. And yes, that's something we can do. It's just that we can't do the 50,000 for working capital. I think there was a question.
Yes.
Or yeah.
Someone is asking, in the earlier slides, they mentioned features business accounts have access to, money management, payments, etc. Is that a different login from your personal Banco?
Yes. That will be from Mi Banco Business. It's a different login that will only see your business accounts, and you will be able to do the payroll payments to suppliers, etc. So yes, it's a different login, because Mi Banco, your personal Mi Banco, it's a free app, it's a free service. But when you log into Mi Banco Business, it has a cost, so you can access it. So that's why one of the features inside of Startup Popular is that the first year we're not going to be charging you the access. Or if anybody it's $10 a month. Is there another question over there?
How do you get your login info?
For Mi Banco Business or Mi Banco?
I believe, let's just assume Mi Banco Business. Correct.
Yes. Yes. If it's Mi Banco Business, you have to apply or request this service. You can do it by phone or go to your banker. You have to request the service, and they will give you some credentials so you can set up your account, etc., and start your login process. If you already did that and you lost your credentials, then you can call the bank. I don't know the number right now. I can get it to you and send it later. So they can help you recover your credentials and continue your process.
She understands. Thank you for that.
Cool. So we've been doing Startup Popular for the past 10 years. So I wanted to tell a little bit of history. We have dispersed over $10 million. The average loan, even though the max is 50,000, the average loan that we normally disperse is 34K. We have helped over 300 businesses. We have helped businesses in VI as well. I think these are important characteristics. 13 months is the average of months in operation when the application gets to us. That does not mean that if you only have a few months, you shouldn't apply. I've had applications that have literally a month and it has gone through. So don't let that deter you. And we support over 15 different businesses. I think it's important to add here, we do not support, Banco Popular as a whole does not support businesses that are related to cannabis, businesses that are related to adult entertainment, businesses that are related to cryptocurrency, or businesses that are related to, I'm missing one. Oh, to betting games, casino, etc. We do not support those. We do not do business with those types of industries, but everything else is fair game, okay? So if you're interested in Star Popular, you can get everything in popular.com/VI. I know it says start startup, but in your case, and I apologize, I didn't fix that there, but it's popular.com/VI, and you get the information, get the evaluation form. We ask for financial data, balance sheet, income statement, and projections. All of those three things have a little star because we understand that new business owners do not have necessarily an accountant yet. So we created some templates that are Excel based that all you have to do is download and plug and play. If you have your financial data with you and everything is pretty organized, I'm going to show you in a second. You can just plug and play in the information and it will calculate it automatically. And that is good for us. We can accept that as official documentation of the bank, for the bank to continue the process of the loan. Okay. And the recommendations on what I'm going to show you in a few is explain what the best you can, on everything that you can, explain what your business is, what makes it different. I make the best cake because I make them with healthier ingredients, or they're gluten-free, or they're organic. I don't know. But the thing is, do not tell me I just sell cakes. I bake cakes now. I bake cakes. I bake over 40 cakes a week. I have 12 different flavors. I make home deliveries. So do not hold back when you're filling out your applications, because the more that we know about your business is the better we understand what you need or what not you need. And the use of funds, I've been explaining most of the conversation. Please be accurate. I need an industrial oven because I need to increase my productivity and my production time. I need to lower costs. I need to move to a different commercial spot because my operations got too big and I need to move. I want to open a second store. Yeah, be accurate. So, and the projections, explain the assumptions and details. Assumptions is the explanation of how you're going to get to those numbers that you're going to present me. So I'm going to show you a little bit the form so you can understand a little bit more better. And then you send everything that is completed to startup@popular.com, and we're going to start the process. I apologize. I think oh, there we go. They were out of order. Here's the information of the evaluation form that you're going to find in our website. It's a PDF. You just download it and start filling it out. This is the things that I am explaining. Just don't hold back. Fill out every single question and explain in detail what your business is about. Sometimes one of the questions are, how are your competitors? How many competitors do you have? They're going to ask things that simpler things, their service hours, how Monday to Friday, Monday through Sunday. So all of these are kind of small details, but we don't know. So Don't hold back, tell us everything. So, and this is the example that I was saying, that templates that we have available also on our website. These are Excel spreadsheets. There are protected Excel spreadsheets. They have pre-programmed formulas. Again, once you plug and play all the information, it will calculate all that's needed, and you can present that. I know you probably can see it well, but on your left and on your right, there are the instructions on what everything means. Like total revenues is what you sell, the cost of goods sold is what it costs you, etc. So on your right, on your left is the income statement of your profit and loss, and on your right is the balance sheet. Again, with all the information and instructions on your left. Right. The same goes for the projections. The projections here are detailed month by month, and our recommendation is usually do it month by month, because there we can see if your business has seasonalities. You know, maybe or maybe not. Maybe your industry is flat all year, and that's great. But maybe you have a business that has high peaks. Maybe your peak is now in Christmas. Yep, I sell during the year. I sell every month $2,000. But then during the last months of the year, I sell 5,000 each month because it's my high season, because I sell triple of everything, etc. So that's why we usually ask month by month, because there we can see how the business performs during the year. And here's the same thing. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It's something that you can download. You read the instructions and fill out as soon as it's pretty simple, and it will calculate it. It's protected, so you cannot mess with the formula. And it will explain everything, so everything will calculate. For example, this red square that's over here, rectangle that's over here, it's about your average ticket. I'm gonna keep on with the example of the cake. So maybe all of your cakes sell at $25. So you're gonna say that your average ticket is 25. Cost per ticket means, what does it cost you? I sell it at 25, but maybe it costs me maybe only $5 to make, because there you take into consideration all the ingredients, maybe the where you put it in, you have decoration, the icing, etc. So there you put in, what does it cost me to make each cake, and the margin per ticket will calculate itself. Margin means what do you gain for each cake sold. So maybe if each cake costs 10 and 25, I'm sorry, and it costs me 5, that means that I win for each cake. I have a margin of $20, and that's what I gain. And that's what I gain to get out of the expenses that I'm going to detail below. Okay. And the expected clients month by month, there you're going to put, I'm going to sell 20 cakes each month, 25 of the second month, 30, and you keep on increasing and depending on how your business, right, behaves during the year. And very important, of course, we all want to sell more, but we do have to be realistic. So if you've been selling 10 cakes every month, do not tell me in the very first month of projections that you're going to be selling 50. We have to be a little bit more realistic. The first month, because I'm going to get that new industrial oven, I'm going to be selling 30 because I'm going to be doubling my orders. So that's something that you have to take in consideration. And then it will calculate the sales and your cost of goods sold. And you have to put there all what's in blue. It's all your expenses. Professional services, marketing, depreciation is important. If you have, like, maybe the industrial oven will depreciate, so you're going to put there. Interest expense, example, if you have the loan, what you have to spend every month on the interest. And if you deliver your cake, so vehicle related expenses, I have to pay a car every month because I deliver my expenses. And any other expenses that are related to the business, it should be detailed there. I think I have a question, so I don't want to keep on until I address it.
Sure. How do you access those forms, or should I say spreadsheets?
So you're gonna go, before when we end, I'm gonna send you on the chat the link so you can get it and you can download it. But it's on Popular's website. But when we finish here, I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna share it on the chat. Okay. Any other questions?
That's it for now. Thanks for that.
Okay, thanks. So And before we get to Emprende, we do have, when you download this spreadsheet, it's going to have a second tab of assumptions. That's what I explained a little bit at the beginning. The assumptions is how are you going to explain that you're going to double, triple, quadruple your sales. Oh, you were selling 10 cakes, now you're going to sell 30. Why? Because I'm going to buy an industrial oven that will increase my productivity and my bake time by X amount. Therefore, I can bake more cakes during the week and I'll have more to sell, etc. You have to explain to us, to the bank, why we should believe that you're gonna get to all of those numbers. Okay, so that's super important when you're explaining that, and it's just some questions. It can be a few sentences. It doesn't have to be a dissertation, but tell us why are you going to get to those numbers that you're presenting. Oh, because I'm going to be starting doing private events. I'm not only going to be selling individually, I'm going to start doing corporate events, and I'm going to be building better cake, baking better cakes, etc. So always tell us why, how, and why are you going to get to those numbers that you're going to present to us. Okay. And last but not least, we do have Emprende con Popular. It's popular.com Emprende. We do have it in the English version. This is more an informative kind of website. We are explaining the different business stages that you guys as business owners, pass through. Sometimes you're still in the potential because you're still validating your idea, you're still perfecting your recipe, etc. Maybe you're going then to your nascent because you started selling your first 1 or 2 cakes and you're still seeing how your client list moves along. New or established. This is important that you guys understand what stage you're in, because it's a dynamic type of website and it will tell you what banking products you should need or you should have on that particular business stage. For example, if you're in a potential, it's going to tell you that you need a business account. That's the first step. So it's something more interactive. It's something that you can inform, so you can get more information on how the business cycle works and how it can help you have a little bit more tips and help you along the way of your growth. Okay. And I am done. This is my information. You guys can jot down my email, myself, and I will gladly answer any questions that you have. This presentation will also be shared with you guys. So if you have any questions later on, please feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call, and I will gladly answer any. But just as well, in Banco Popular over there in VI, we have awesome bankers that can also guide you through this process. Okay, so I am up to done here. I am stopping my screen. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. I forgot to share the other last 2 slides. I'm sorry. Let me do that right now.
Well, you can go ahead and go ahead and share something else, because then that's to close out. So we can do that last.
Oh, yes, because I do want to, let me start. I do want to get the website that I told you, so I can share the sites. Hold on, so you can get the templates that I spoke about. While I do that, does anybody else have any other questions that you need to answer? Okay, good. Business, I'm getting there. Business services.
And at this point, you can unmute and ask your question directly if typing is too much.
Okay, so I'm gonna put here the chats. That is the website. I'm gonna share my screen again so you can see. Okay, so this is the website that I just shared. You're gonna go in here and see Startup Popular. This is what we just spoke about, and it's gonna tell you a little about the information that we already spoke about here. But this is the part where you get your templates. This is the evaluation form where you're gonna fill out the information of your business and describe everything that it does. And income statement, balance sheet, and financial projections, they have hyperlinks right there. So just click on it and it will download. it's an Excel, and it will download, and you go to your download folder, and the rest is done. And you can start filling it over at your time. So if anybody else doesn't have any other questions, I'm gonna pull up here, and I know this is important for the closing slide.
Okay, so we don't have any hands raised. We don't have any more questions in the chat. So I guess it's safe to transition. We just have comments saying thank you.
Okay, I'm very glad that I hope that this information was valuable for everybody. Again, I am available if anybody needs any other questions, or again, you can just go to any of our bankers in Banco Popular or NBI, and we'll gladly orientate you as well. So if everything is good, you can tell me. Do you need anything else?
Okay, so no more questions. I guess we can share those last two slides. And so therefore, in the interim, I'll say the VI SBDC has so much more in store for USVI small businesses. We encourage you to visit our website at www.visbdc.org. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to the VI SBDC YouTube channel for new uploads of our webinars. We encourage you to download our complimentary app from the App Store for your mobile device. And so I'm just going to go ahead, and I can also interrupt Sharon and take you to the VI SBDC training portal. And so I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And hopefully you see that. I just want persons to be familiar as to where they can find webinars after the live session. So you go to our training portal and make sure you come down to type, you select on demand, and when you hit search, you should be able to see all the webinars that we've hosted since the start of the fiscal year. Okay, so after this meeting has ended, this webinar too will be accessible here, and you guys will go ahead and follow the prompts so you can get the login information. Okay, so what do we have coming up next? Well, our Agriculture Business Center has some trainings coming up on financial ratios and the financial scorecard. And let's just jump here because we spoke about lending, we spoke about finance, we spoke about profit and loss statements. And so we have VI SBDC advisor Rael Reddick, and she is going to be presenting Analyzing Financial Statements, a step-by-step guide for non-accountants. And that webinar will start at 11 a.m. On November 20th, we have Lanley Shazar, and he's going to be presenting Connect and Grow, Effective Business Communication in a Digital Age. And so we encourage you to go to the training portal, register for our upcoming webinars. And Kimberly also talked about having a business plan. And so on December 12th, we have VI SBDC Business Advisor Darrell Edwards, and he's going to be presenting Your Blueprint for Success, a practical guide to writing a business plan. So let me just go on over here, see if I have any more questions. I do have a question for you, Kimberly, from the chat. And so someone is asking, what is the limit for a startup loan?
I'm guessing, Sharon, is that money-wise? Is that what you're referring to? As the term loan is from $10,000 to $50,000. Is that what you were referring to? Yes. So it's from the minimum that you can request is 10,000. The max is 50,000.
All righty. So thank you for that. So I would like to say, Kimberly, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure collaborating with you and your team on these types of initiatives for our small business owners. And so to everyone here, thank you for your time and attendance. And on behalf of the entire VI SBDC network, we wish you a productive rest of the day and a great weekend. So take care, everyone.
Take care. Thank you, guys.